Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Concept Tech 2018. I am Dr. Sunanda Manke. In this COVID situation, it is not possible for students to attend college, and so students cannot visit the labs and perform experiments. The lab work is very important part of the curriculum in engineering, and so I am here with a video series on online laboratories. In this series, I'll demonstrate experiments and I'll try to cover as many electronics labs as possible. In this first part, I'll introduce you to the basic and commonly used components and equipments in electronic laboratories. The components, or we call it consumables, which are used in the lab are listed here. I hope you know the working of these components. We have here resistor, capacitor, inductor, diode, transistor, transformer. Then we have integrated circuits. Depending on the type of lab, we use different types of ICs. The breadboard, which is used for testing the circuit. Then we require connecting wires and cables for connection. And we have switches and relays. This slide shows the photograph of all the components here. These are the resistors. Then we have the capacitors. These are the diodes. Then we have transistors here. As they are three terminal devices, they can be identified by the three legs. A switch is there. These are some ICs. This is the coil or inductor. Then we have transformer. And then we have this breadboard where all the connections are made. Let's look at these components closely. First of all, we have these resistors. These are carbon film resistors, and the value of the resistor depends on the colored bands which are there on the resistor. You can observe it in the photo. Then we have capacitor. First two were ceramic capacitor. These three are electrolytic capacitor. This is 100 microfarad capacitor, and then we have 1000 microfarad capacitor. As the value of the capacitor increases, the size of the capacitor increases as well. These are all polarized capacitors, so they have a negative mark on their body. Then we have diodes, light emitting diodes, yellow and white color, and general purpose semiconductor diode. Here we have this three leg resistor. This basically is a variable resistor. So resistance is fixed between two legs and varies by using the third leg. Then we have the transistors here. Number is written or transistor. First one is AC188. These are other transistors here which are used in the circuit. Then we have switch. It's a very important component because it is used to switch on and off the power supply given to the circuit. Then we have these integrated circuits ICs. The first one is a regulator IC, voltage regulator IC. You can observe it has a heat sink to dissipate the power or to cool the transistor. Then we have this 8-pin IC and 16-pin IC as well. This is the battery which is used when we make some project. It's a 9-volt battery. Next is the breadboard. All the circuit connections are made on this board and then the circuit is tested. The vertical line, the line above and the bottom line of the board is horizontally shorted and these are vertically shorted, these pins are. So for connecting the IC is connected this way. We cannot connect IC vertically because as we connect it vertically, all the pins will get shorted and IC will burn. So the correct way of connecting the IC is this one. If a wire is to be connected, it is connected this way. The resistance can also be put between two pins this way because all vertical pins are short here. Let's check the internal connection of the breadboard. You can see here an old breadboard. You can see internally these pins are vertically short and the top and the bottom holes are horizontally short here. Coming to the equipments part, the most commonly used equipments are listed here. We have DC supply, cathode ray oscilloscope or CRO, then we have function generator and multimeter. The DC regulated power supply provides the supply to the circuit under test. It basically converts AC input to DC regulated output. The figure shows here dual output DC regulated supply, that is we can take two outputs from this supply. The actual DC supply here, I am switching it on. We have the voltage and the current value for first and voltage and current value for the second supply. The connection for the first and the second supply, because this is a dual DC supply instrument. It supplies two DC voltages. Positive and negative pound, red is positive, black is negative and green is ground. With the help of this knob, we can change the value of the voltage, coarse and the fine values. We have to keep it at 0 level while switching on the DC supply so that no glitch comes in the circuit. This is how connection is made, positive and negative of first supply and positive and negative of second supply. Red is used for positive, black is used for negative. If we are using two independent supplies, if we want to make the ground common, then either we can connect negative to negative so that we can get two positive supplies. But if we are using in op-amp where it's a dual supply IC, positive and negative supply IC, then in that case negative of first supply is connected to the positive of the second supply and that becomes the ground point. So this black one is the ground point here now. The first red one is the positive supply and the second black one is the negative supply. Then we have CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope. The function of CRO is to display the input signal, the input waveform, and it is used to measure amplitude, frequency and phase of the input signal. Now this is the real cathode ray oscilloscope, CRO. It has been switched on. So it is initializing the oscilloscope. Oscilloscope, as told earlier, is used to display and measure the waveform. This is the intensity knob. It is used to change the intensity of the beam. This is the focus point. It's a dual trace oscilloscope. So two inputs simultaneously can be connected, two waveforms can be observed. This is the trigger pin. Volts per division knob for the first channel, volts per division knob for the second channel and times per division knob for both the channels. This is Y position of channel 1. Similarly, to see the Y position of channel 1, we have to switch on the channel 2. We can simultaneously switch both the channels and we can observe both the waveforms simultaneously. Then we have X position switch. This can be observed only when both the inputs are connected. Basically, right now no input is connected, so two straight lines are obtained. This is auto set button. As you press this button, it automatically sets the waveform. These are the markers used for measurement of the waveform. These are the controls of the input waveform: AC, DC, inverted and ground control. The function generator generates waveform which are given as input to test the circuit. The shape, the frequency and the amplitude of the waveform can be changed. That is, function generator supports triangular, square, sinusoidal or DC signal. We can vary the frequency and amplitude of the output of this function generator. This is the real actual function generator. It has been switched on now. This shows the frequency which is generated, 1267 Hz, that is 1.267 kilohertz frequency is generated right now. It can generate different types of waveforms controlled by this switch: DC, square, sinusoidal and rectangular. This knob is to change the frequency which is coming at the output plus the range of the frequency. Then we have here DC on, it adds DC to the input waveform. This knob changes the amplitude of the waveform. These two additional buttons are used to control the amplitude. This is from where we'll take the output. Function generator output is taken from this switch, this knob. The lower knob is used to take the trigger output at plus 5 volts peak to peak. Last but the most important component is the multimeter, or the equipment is multimeter, which is used to measure voltage, current and resistance values. Continuity is also checked using multimeter. Normally it is used for testing purposes. Analog and digital multimeters are available in the electronic laboratories. I hope you have seen the components and the equipments which are required in the lab. Next video onwards, we'll take the labs and the experiments one by one. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel Concept Tech 20184 for more such videos. Thank you.